Hello, my friend, and welcome back to the Onto Purpose Over Paycheck podcast. I am your host, Mr. Troy. Hope you're doing well, and we're just continuing on with our show. Again, I do want to take some time to say thank you, that I'm greatly appreciated and honored that you are listening to this podcast and that you're following along and continuing on with this journey as we are discussing a lot of information when it comes to what's going on, what the whole topic about this podcast is about, and just sharing all that wonderful wealth with you in knowledge. It's just amazing and awesome. So, thank you for hitting that play button and being part of this journey. All right, today's episode is called Building Systems That Protect Your Nervous System. Now, we've been talking about the nervous system for quite some time, and it really is one of the biggest catalyst centers in your body. You cannot accept anything if your nervous system is not open to receiving it. It will block everything. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, about these systems that you will build in order to protect it. Okay? So, structured, not rigid structure, not controlling structure, but stabilizing structure. Because what's going to happen? Motivation does fade. The willpower, it will fluctuate. Your emotions will shift. But when you have systems in place, they start to protect you when all of that starts to change, right? So why does chaos sometimes feel very productive for us? Some of you are very capable in chaos. You perform well under pressure. We hit those deadlines at the last minute. We thrive when things feel so urgent. And it's because you function in chaos. You assume it's working. But just because you can survive the chaos doesn't mean that it's sustainable. Chaos taxes your nervous system. It keeps you in this reactive state all the time and reactively slowly erodes your clarity. You're not clear in what you're doing. You're thriving off the chaos so much that you feel that you're productive. You're staying up to the last minute to complete the project or complete the work that you're doing, and you get excited and you thrive and say, "Oh, I got it done. It was the last hour and I got it done." However, that does not create stability. It erodes your clarity because what you're doing is it's reactive, right? We're surviving in there. We're not building this system that actually helps us. So, what is a system that actually is sustainable? A system is simply a repeatable structure that reduces the emotional load. It's not about control. It's not about containment. This system, what it will do is it'll reduce decision fatigue, your emotional spikes, this last minute scrambling to get things done, to finish up projects, this unnecessary urgency. They create predictability, and predictability feels safe to your nervous system. Okay? I know I talk a lot about the nervous system because it is the center of where your whole entire body feels safe and secure in doing all the things that it does. It works with the same thing in manifestation, and this is what I teach my clients. This is how I guide my clients, is to understand that we have to really regulate our emotional center area, which is our nervous system. That's why I keep repeating that you manifest who you are. The things that you want in your life are coming in to your world, your reality, because it's who you are. There's an identity shift. When you do the identity shift, we have to get your nervous system to accept this new identity. So when your nervous system begins to feel safe and secure in everything that you do, you start to think a little bit more clear in what you're trying to do. And when you're clear about what you're doing, your decisions become better. You're able to regulate faster. You're able to recover at a quicker pace. And you stay consistent longer. So when your nervous system feels unsafe, everything around you is going to become reactive. And if you live in that reactive state, you're living in a life that is going to drain you. It is going to drain you. So, If you're wanting stability, you're wanting this stability in your life, you need structure, right? We talked about discipline on this podcast as well, but structure ties in with that discipline. Because here's the thing, many people resist systems because they equate structure with restrictions. They tend to think, I don't want to feel boxed in. I need flexibility. I don't want my life overplanned. But here's the bottom line truth, friend. When you're working and living in the chaos, it is not freedom. It's viatolo. It's vital. Okay? Chaos is not good for you. It's a well-designed structure does create the freedom, because it removes these unnecessary stresses that you're going to come across. It protects your energy. It lowers the emotional cost of daily living. How many of you are living in stressful lives right now? Because if you are, you're living in the chaos. You have no structure. You haven't built anything. Because you're probably telling yourself, I don't like it because it kind of feels restrictive. Well, it really isn't, because you're still functioning in chaos, which is causing more. I'd rather be in a restrictive, stable, structured life than living in this chaos where every day I'm waking up or going to bed stressed out. I need to protect my energy. I need to lower the cost of my emotional stability. So if you're thinking, I just need more motivation, you probably don't, friend. You probably need fewer daily negotiations with yourself. What you need is a consistent wake time. You need predictable work windows. You need to define stopping points. You need a recovery rhythm. You don't need more hype. You need more predictability. You need to know how this structure is going to roll out for you, because you're aware of it. Because when you're aware of it, your nervous system is open, secure, and safe to do what it needs to be. So let me give you 3 simple categories. First, energy systems. When do you work? When do you rest? When do you stop? If this changes daily, your nervous system never stabilizes. Let me say that again. Energy systems. When do you work? When do you rest? When do you stop? Because if this changes daily, there's no consistency with it, no clarity, your nervous system never stabilizes. Number 2, decision systems. What choices can you pre-decide? Maybe your meals, your workout time, planning your day, content day, removing these reoccurring decisions. That's what helps it. When you have a pre-decided day, your choices, you can pre-decide, it removes this recurring decisions. And I know many of you probably say, well, I don't know what I'm doing for dinner tonight. But if you meal prep on the weekends, or if you just even sit down and create a list of this is what I want to do for dinner this week. These are the days I'm going to go work out and the times I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit down and this is my planning day. This is the day I'm going to create my content. You can pre-decide those and you're creating decision systems. Number 3, boundary systems. What is not available? After what hour are you done? What behaviors are you not going to tolerate? And what standards do you maintain consistently? Because when you create a boundaries system, you reduce your emotional spikes. A good way to do this is time blocking. Time blocking. Looking at being predictable on how your day is going to run out. One of the greatest techniques when you're trying to manifest things and manifestation work, my clients will learn scripting. Scripting is building that predictability. Scripting is kind of like I'm making these pre-decisions. These are my boundary systems in place. All right. And here's how I'm going to regulate my nervous system. And they time block the entire day to the week. And some of them, when you do scripting, is you're planning out how your day is going to roll out. And you would actually be amazed when you use that strategy of scripting how amazing your day will be. Absolutely how amazing your day will be. So, when we create these systems, they tend to start to reduce self-sabotage. So when your life has a system where it's structured, you don't rely on your mood, you don't rely on the adrenaline, you don't reinvent your week every Monday, you don't overcorrect after smallest mistakes. What you do is you're now moving at a pace that is steady. You have these steady movements that are creating compounds for you. Remember, we're always talking about that compound interest. When you are inconsistent, it creates doubt. But when you have consistency, it builds your identity. 2 strategies you can take right now. You can research and or connect with me and we'll talk about scripting your day out. Or time blocking. Pulling out what your day looked like. And let's block it out. Because consistency about that will create your new identity. We talk about who do we want to become? Who is this person that we're trying to be? What do they do? How do they run their life? If you're looking at a person who is so successful, you can ask them, tell me about your day. How do you have it planned? They're probably going to tell you, I have it all scripted out. I have it all time blocked out. I know what to expect. One of my coaches that I work with, she talked to me about that. She knows what her day entails. She knows when she's going to the gym. She knows when she's going to spend time with her family. That's why she's consistent. That's why she's successful. That's why she's building her business. So, when we need to move from the reactive life to a designed life. Ask yourself this: is my life reactive or designed? Because if it is reactive, you are going to live and feel scattered. If it is stable, if it is designed, it is stable. Design does not mean rigid. It means intentional. It means you decided in advance how you move. And when you decide in advance, your nervous system relaxes. What are the compounding effects of stability? Here's what most people miss. Big change rarely happens from dramatic effort. It happens from boring repetition. It happens from systems you follow even when unmotivated. It happens from rhythms you maintain even when distracted. It happens from boundaries you hold even when tempted to go off or veer. That's what compounds, and that's what stabilizes your identity. You don't need a perfect schedule, friend. You need a protective rhythm. You don't need a life overhaul. You just need fewer variables. Your nervous system thrives on predictability. Give it that. And when you do, everything else stabilizes. I want you to reflect on this. What part of your life feels unnecessarily chaotic? What one simple system could reduce that chaos? Because, friend, you don't need more drive. What you honestly need is more design. More design. If this episode resonated with you, and if you're ready to build stability in how to pursue your goals, I highly invite you to enroll in the Manifesting with Purpose. It's a 4-week group coaching program. In this program, my clients will get aligned identity with daily systems. They'll learn creating structures that protect their nervous system. They'll build consistency without force, and they'll manifest from stability instead of chaos. So if you're ready to build something sustainable, not just exciting, this program is for you. You can find all the details and enrollment through my link tree. Look at the show notes. My link tree is right there. Click on it. Sign up for the program. Also, if this podcast has supported you, please make sure you continue to follow the show, leave a rating, write a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it. Because you never know, your support by doing that helps more people build regulated, stable lives instead of reactive ones. You don't need more motivation. What you need is better structure, friend. You need better structure. All right. As I always say, you don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you are. Talk to you soon.